Hello and welcome back to Songs of Six, to our beautiful city of Novaster, where we are making lots of weapons and armor for the boys, and we're trying to make tons of money. We've got 23,000, not too bad, 19,000 in trade goods, and we've got an army of 250 out of 982 guys. It's a little different since I last left off because there was some sound issues. The background audio for the music in this game is absolutely high. Like, it's so high compared to recording that I have to lower it down below half, which is hilarious. But aside from the YouTube shit, I just wanted to say thank you to Big J for your comment on the last episode, and kind of wanted to address what you were talking about. When you get to this point of population, I struggled to understand if it was specifically food. I have my resource tab gone. That you probably struggle with, and I think food is probably what it is, so I'm going to go over food. If you do not have the starting option of, if you go to my titles, you can see I have Master of Bargains, the Crafter, and the Negotiator. Those three, you could get Leader and the Ruler, but I choose not to because it just gives you a little too many people too quickly, and they eat a lot. So with the Master of Bargains and the Negotiator, you can sell wood for about the same price as bread, and you can import basically 1-for-1 bread and food, or sorry, wood for food. Bread is food. Basically, so you'll have a forest over here. You'll have your free laborers kind of chop down trees. You're gonna want like a 50. I like to have 50 free laborers because that means that you've got people doing jobs that you're trying to build, and you got people out here doing shit like this. So I've got probably like 20 guys out there, and I'm planning on building a little neighborhood over here, just so that they can access these trees and cut them down faster. Bringing the wood back here to this little hauler here, and like I said, these are some things that I added kind of in the in-between episode that you won't see. But this is likely going to be removed, or rather, we might keep the wood, but we might remove this one, because I want to put a transport probably from over here with the wood coming down the road, and they're going to come down here, and they're going to deliver here. We also kind of want to start to try to expand our roads a little bit. I had intended to build them a little less tight than this, but they kind of got tighter over time. So we might eventually remove this and start to expand out a little bit. But for the most part, I want to keep my population around 1,000 or under 1,000, keeping my attack chance or raid chance at 2% or so. Or if you feel comfortable and you have a lot of good bowmen, Talapi specifically, go for it. You can definitely get up there with some attacks, some really hefty numbers on there. Like, I think you could probably decimate army 1 to 5, them having like 500, you having 100, and you wouldn't even sweat. You wouldn't break a sweat with the Talapis, especially if they were all trained to like 75 or 100% bowmen. Good lord, they would absolutely rinse 500 guys. But we have soldiers. We actually have like physical melee fighters, so that's why I have a little higher. Because if we get into a fight with 300 guys and 250, we're gonna lose a couple, quite a few, to be exact. But we've got the bows, and those are helping, and we've got a lot of food coming in. I had a problem where I stopped importing food because I had too much importing of other goods, and that kind of capped me. I think that the key for me was to start to keep my money above 10k to 20k and just keep going. I'd like to see 1 million in my savings, and that way I can feel a little safer about what's going on. So, hope I addressed the concept there, what I'm doing and how I establish my city. You could really, honestly, with the 10 people that you start with, make a warehouse, like a couple people, like a couple houses, long houses, some training grounds, a carpenter, and a few other things, and just cut wood. You can literally do that for a huge amount of population. I think you could do it with like 1,000 people, realistically. As long as you kept your forest nice and big like I do. Like, that's a lot of forest right there. And if you had a whole forested map like this, and your people were living in here, it would take them a while to clear all that wood out. And that's gonna sell for a pretty decent amount. It's about numbers, in my opinion. So, like, now that I'm making good numbers of weaponry and armor, the problem is mostly these imports, they don't come in fast enough. So I'm gonna have to either kind of make a a smelter in somewhere here. So we do have the coal, and we should have ore. Yeah, we have coal and ore right here. So theoretically we could make it there, but I hate making it because it just takes additional laborers. So you can see that I have specifically allotted like 60, 60, 60, 60. So that's 120 Dundarians just in this job, just in this little site. Then you chalk up 30 more, that's 150, 18, 68, 4, so that's 172 workers, and then you put these guys in there. We're almost at 200. That's basically my entire Dundarian population right there. We have 338 guys. That's one of the biggest problems for large-scale cities, is the amount of laborers that are being used. So in just a small space, we've used up most of our laborers. Then we also have our mines, 35. We've got what, 35 or 45 over here. So we had literally Kryptonians working that mine, and then we have our 57 slaves now working over here. As a matter of fact, we can pop that up. And that's basically what I try to focus on, though, is to keep the jobs down. So there's no jobs here. There's 2 physicians, 1 asylum ward, 2 caretakers here. As a matter of fact, probably the services are still kind of low. So 2 physicians is good. 1 turnkey for here. We have no slaver like most of these jobs don't have their trader if they're not selling something. So this grain trader is going to have one. The vegetable one doesn't. This cotton one does, stone does, and the carpentry does. It doesn't, sorry, and this one does. So there's a bunch of free slots here that people were working at that I took workers from. Then you have to take into account there's 8 guys here and 12 guys here. So that's 20 little actors. Got an executioner. So it really starts to spread them out. I've got 1 plumber per bathroom over here, but then some of the larger bathrooms have like 4 delivery men, cooks, etc., and then you have 120. Wait, that's 160 actually, plus that's 260 humans doing their jobs, and you basically are out of workers. So the key is to not have too many jobs. Import the things that you find are most valuable. Like, I think this is probably one of the more ideal strats, but you'll notice that I'm also making jewelry, and I probably could up this, put more people there, and not have armor and weapons being made. But the sole reason I have them is so that our army is equipped when they get attacked. They have some weapons and they have some armor, and I don't have to buy them because they are extremely expensive to buy. 254, 251. So if you wanted to buy a couple hundred, that's going to cost you some. Rather, instead, we'll just make it. And you can make them out of carpenters too. So if you have a lot of like carpenters, you could change this to make weapons. And the same, you can make armor out of the tailor. We don't have a tailor though. But if you have any other future questions, be sure to ask them in the chat, and I will catch you in a moment. Yes. Yes, brothers. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the armor. Got a little janitor. We've got a little castle going along. Here we've got some catapults. The whole plaza. I built an entire plaza. This is the plaza for town. They've got some scaffolds. They've got a little graveyard. And we've got some shacks or whatever they call stocks, sorry. So that people can be made fun of and bullied for being in prison. We added the paper maker. Let me get my little marker back here. We got the paper maker. We've got a mechanic. Still got our Temple of Athuri. We need to get that up there, though. It's not the best temple yet, and we need it to be a bit better. Yeah, as you can see, we've got the janitors built in here, and kind of expanded out this half of town. So we built a nice little, like, 40-person area here. We've got a transport who's delivering wood from here. There's a two guys who are delivery men. They grab the wood from around here while people are randomly chopping it. And the laborers live in here, use the bathroom here, access the hearth here, and they've got a guard, a well, eatery, a janitor, and a speaker, as well as this hunter who keeps dying because these orcs in this corner have been just killing people like nobody's business. But we've killed them all except for this last guy here. So his death will not be in vain. We might put a little what is it called? Graveyard. I don't know why I can't think right now. Probably because I've been playing for about 2.5 hours. Other than that, we are about at the same rate. We've got 2 new upgraded laboratories. We've got 3 to upgrade. We don't have the resources yet. We've got the university. We're building a barber over here for the other half of the city. We increased the stone mine. Basically added more people and then removed them so that we could build all that stuff. Then we mined out all of this. We're finishing mining out this. I also built a wall out of the stone out of the mountain right here so that people can't come in here. I don't want traders and people coming through here. I've also started digging this tunnel so that we can access this right here, this coal and this ore. We're gonna have it smelted, shipped over here via transport, and delivered to our smithies, who are going to be making tons and tons of armor. We need more armor and arms. And last but not least, we upgraded this with mechanics, or machine parts. You can see they've got these nice turbines and other bits and bobs that are helping them produce more and more stuff. Why are you working here, sir? There's 60 some odd. Oh, there's 61. We got 65 workers there. They are making a lot of gems. So if you look, we've got 13 production per day, 127 per year. We upgrade this? Yep, no, not yet. They are exporting some. Whatever doesn't get exported gets brought over to the jeweler. The jewelers make some jewelry with it. They made 73 this year, which is really good. Then this guy here brings it over here and he starts to sell it. We sold 100 pieces of jewelry at 700, so that's why we have $163,000. If you make things out of things that are available to you, like gems like this, coal and gems, I'm mining. So technically, this is my product. I'm making coal by mining it, and I'm mining gems over here. And eventually we could obviously just move the gems over here, but the reason why we didn't start in the mountain is because it's just a little too tight to get in there, and then it was easier to get over here. So now that we're at this point, we just continue to sell, buy. I'm buying iron. I buy a little bit of coal to keep my stocks up. I buy some rations, clay, because I don't want to mine that. It's just an annoying thing. And we import clothes and fabric right now, as well as food. Later down the line, we could definitely think about getting some clay, as there is a lot out there. But since there's none in my vicinity, I don't plan on doing it. Also, I built this retirement home. I don't know if I mentioned it in the beginning, but we've got a retirement home for all these old Kryptonians and humans who no longer want to work, and that makes them very happy. You can see that our happiness is at 100, our loyalty is at 100. We've got 991 people, and we've got like 1,500, or 1,050, sorry, citizens, and that includes our slaves. And so for this episode number 8, I believe, we are about to demolish everyone around us. We are ready. Wujek, I don't want to take them out, really, but I might have to, because they're the next. They're like, we're gonna take Sinish first, but they're already kind of there. So, in the next episode, we are gonna make our battle plans. We've got the protection we need. The reason why I put all my arms and armor in here is so that if, in case we get attacked, I can assemble my soldiers in here, get them all equipped, and then have the catapults manned, have bowmen up in these, have soldiers down in here, and if somebody comes from my castle, they're gonna have to fucking come through this. They're surely to beat up this part of the city, but like I said, we are secure in our body, like in what we're doing. So if we built this up, these houses are pretty well done, so we're gonna keep them like that. This central bit is pretty good too. We'll eventually have to kind of fix this area. I think this area will be the hardest area to fix, but we'll move everything and rearrange everything, but we'll keep this area, as I really like the way it looks. We'll keep these two. So pretty much everything from here on will probably change into this middle bit. These will stay the exact same. We might have to change some of these import depots, because I don't think we're going to need them. We might change them to export depots, because we are exporting a lot of stuff, and we're running out of space to export things from. Like this leather here, we've got 209 leather for sale. I don't know how this one orc field is doing the work of like 8 or 10 in my other game, but it is. So that's just to say, I think because we've kind of specialized everything and stopped focusing on this stuff. Like before, I was always focused on agricultural stuff. Now that I'm focused on industrial stuff, the agricultural stuff just comes in naturally. So I'd say focus on trying to get your industry popping, so that you can be selling jewelry and stuff and making good fat cash. But anyways, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.